So I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Shay from the Underground Creatives for our High Street Heritage Action Zone Newsroom. So Shay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to chat to me. Appreciate being part of the project and part of this.
Well, it's great to see you. And obviously, we were talking before we started this conversation about, we've known you for quite a long time now, right? Sort of back nearly 10 years, probably back to the Somewhere to East Midlands days. And here you are, still in the game, still going, still spreading that positivity about community and engagement and young people being able to own spaces and shape things. And we were really excited to hear that you were involved in the High Street Heritage Action Zone here in Leicester, because again, it's not only the connections that you've got and the people that you can bring to bear through your underground creatives and partnerships and stuff, but the fact that you're just so positive and a really good role model, and particularly around that street culture, urban culture and stuff. You're a real kind of positive voice for that. So how did you first get involved in the project?
Yeah, I appreciate those words, man. Thank you so much. And it is crazy looking back at, it is actually 10 years of doing the Underground Creatives. It's our 10th birthday next year, actually. So being part of the community for that long and doing workshops with the community, young people, young adults, children, music and poetry and spreading those messages. I guess being involved in the project seemed like a natural, progression in terms of taking somebody who's rooted in the community and then using them to facilitate the message forward. So for me, the involvement was through Seed Creativity, and I've worked with Seed. Actually, I never actually worked with Seed. Seed have always been Johnny has always been a colleague of mine who's worked alongside me. We've kind of sit on board meetings together. We're kind of like parallel working, but we've never actually, had that crossover. So it was the first time that we have actually worked together. So Seed approached me and said, Shay, we know you're a poet in Leicester. Can we get you to be the narrative or voice the narrative of the Heritage Action Zone and, what that's all about, what's going to happen? And for me, it was brand new information. And then they said, yeah, you're going to need to do a bit of research on these streets and what they represent and what their heritage and history was. For me, that was a really interesting challenge to explore where these streets come from, which we walk almost every day, or used to walk before the pandemic. Thank you to Seed, Johnny and Nat for getting me involved.
I think what's fascinating about what you bring to the project, actually, Shay, is the fact that there's a really interesting quote in an interview you did a long time ago now, February 2020, in a completely different world and time, that said about the inherent social quality of general street-based rap and your own experience of sort of, teaching yourself to beatbox and learn about grime and stuff. And of course, heritage and any kind of heritage action zone would immediately send a message to people that it's about old and maybe stuffy, maybe stuff that's not around anymore, slightly, too much history almost for people to know, certainly to be taught in schools. And here you are researching it in a very kind of contemporary, up-to-date way and getting people to think about it from a young person's perspective today of what a heritage action zone means to them. Did you kind of rise to the challenge from that perspective? Because obviously this is really what you're about, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely a crossover between contemporary art forms and street-based art forms, like you say, like grime, rap. It's based and it was born on the streets, and it comes from that like organic, the plant that grows out of the concrete kind of thing. So, but to know where it comes from, to know where it all stems from, I researched an interesting parallel between certain bars and cafes on Granby Street, which were used as kind of underground performance groups. So like your Dead Poet Society, there's a link in there that I talk about, but people coming together and sharing poetry, sharing art forms in like this, like a private room where they just want to keep it within themselves and have this experience shared between each other. And that happened a long time ago, but here we are, in grime we do something called a cypher, where a load of rappers come together in a shared space. Usually it used to be in a basement, and we used to just rap, share lyrics around a circle. And there's an interesting parallel between the usage of that space then and how it might be used in a more contemporary street-based grime setting. So there's definitely parallels, and I thought that for me it was definitely a new challenge, because I was having to delve deep into the context of these places. But it's a challenge that I've very much enjoyed, because I like doing new things and trying new things.
Yeah, and you talk in the article as well about people getting together and sort of battling, you know what I mean, and sort of clashing, and that kind of it builds lasting confidence, the ability to stand there and perform anyway, which is one of the real positives, isn't it, of performing arts generally, whether it's music, dance, or whatever, or poetry. It's the fact that you're getting the confidence to stand up in front of strangers and perform. I just, I've got this really interesting concept in my head of, Thomas Cook. If he was alive today and he was doing beatboxing, for example, to beatboxing, how he would explain to people that he was going to take them from Leicester to Loughborough for the first package holiday and stuff. And I think this is the thing that you really bring to the project, that exciting, relevant, up to date opportunity for young people, and also people of all ages, to be able to get involved and look at heritage in a very, very different way. Because ultimately, if we don't care about it, we are the people that have to look after it. So we can't keep looking to older people that are very knowledgeable. We need to make it relevant to young people that are walking down the street that are just out of college, for example. Yeah.
Most definitely. And I think the whole point of a regeneration is, to talk to the new generation, the generation being the key word. And we need to take, we need to teach our young people to take ownership of, what we're going to have the legacy of, where there's a legacy that we need to develop and protect, because it's our city. Like, I have a lot of pride coming from Leicester. I feel so proud to be here. Of course, we just won the FA Cup. What? Parrot? Sorry, there's a parrot behind me. That happens. That's George. Say hi, George. Okay, so so George features in a lot of our workshops and music stuff. Thanks, George. Yeah, so we won the FA Cup. Amazing. Like, this is Leicester. Like, there's so much pride in the environment right now, more than ever. But I feel like when we learn about what it is that we're feeling proud of, what we're representing, it gives us more, connection to our roots, connection to the land that we live in, connection to the land that we're going to progress and develop further. So I think to know where it comes from really connects the dots for us.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and obviously bringing George along as well. Like, just to prove like we're happy to do an interview that's got all sorts of moving parts and stuff like that as well, which is great.
It's all about the live atmosphere.
Yeah, hopefully you'll join us on the day as well. And what I'm quite keen to is, obviously we get to play on the Newsroom, the film and stuff like that you're involved in, but also maybe to drill behind one or two of the lines or the lyrics and stuff, and just kind of pull out a little bit more on that. I'd be quite interested to talk to you about that. But I'm sure this will be the first of many times that we get to speak to you, Shay.
Most definitely. I look forward to speaking again.
Okay, you take care, my friend.
You too. Thanks for having me. Bye.